Hi everyone, Ryan Slate here. Welcome to Court Fire. When he finally showed up at my game, I was fuming. Sure, NBA players are masters on the court, but off it, many of them are spectacularly terrible dads. From Larry Bird to Dwight Howard to Dennis Rodman, these 11 NBA stars' parenting fails paint a wildly different picture than their highlight reels. Let's start with Larry Johnson. The Charlotte Hornet heartthrob, famous for those grandmama commercials, had a jaw-dropping personal life mess behind closed doors, one that would explode publicly in ways he couldn't dodge. By the late 1990s, he'd fathered 5 kids with 4 women, including 2 with his wife Celeste, but the side relationships unleashed a storm of lawsuits and accusations. Angela Jeffrey, a former Baltimore flight attendant, gave birth to his daughter Gabrielle Tyler on October 4, 1993, the very day Johnson inked a record-breaking 12-year, $84 million Hornets deal. Despite that, she and Gabrielle spent 9 months on welfare before a court finally ordered $4,000 a month in August 1995. But the real problem? Johnson was basically MIA in his daughter's life. By early 1997, 3-year-old Gabrielle had seen him only thrice. A June 1996 Dallas visit was reportedly warm, but a January 1997 Knicks game encounter barely lasted 15 minutes, with Johnson more interested in his entourage than his own kid. Then there's Laura Tate, whose story makes the previous chaos look tame. The aspiring LA model claimed Johnson begged her for an abortion in 1996. She also endured harassing calls from his friend, Portland Trailblazers guard Stacey Augmon, forcing her to record calls and flee multiple times. Their daughter, Taylor Tate, arrived August 2, 1997, and a blood test confirmed Johnson's paternity at 99.9%. A Los Angeles Superior Court ordered him to pay $8,850 monthly plus $30,000 annually for a nanny, one of the era's highest athlete support awards. As his NBA career wound down, financial obligations piled up. By 2015, Johnson filed for bankruptcy, listing over $120,000 in unpaid child support. TMZ reported 4 women accused him of being a deadbeat dad, debts nearing $900,000. Headlines screamed deadbeat, despite his $80 million-plus career. But here's the twist: Gabrielle's mother publicly defended him, telling TMZ he owed her nothing. Turns out, Johnson's fathering varied. Some kids got involvement, others neglect. He eventually settled the $900,000 debt through an unconventional move, handing over his $800,000 Las Vegas home and $55,000 cash, wiping the slate and dismissing bankruptcy proceedings. By 2021, the last back support issues were closed, ending this painful saga. Chris Bosh's drama is less absent dad and more courtroom thriller. The allegations against him mainly stem from heated custody and support battles with ex-Allison Mathis over their daughter, Trinity, rather than outright abandonment. The Hall of Fame power forward's nightmare began in 2009 when Mathis filed a child support claim in Maryland, claiming Bosh, who was raking in over $1 million a month, suddenly ghosted financially after their breakup. She accused him of ditching her during a complicated pregnancy and even tried to evict her from their shared Texas home. Mathis demanded full custody and hefty support, painting Bosh as more obsessed with his career than his kid. Bosh fired back, showing he'd been voluntarily sending $1,500 a month, cash verified by court records. His lawyers argued Texas, not Maryland, had jurisdiction, and the Maryland court promptly tossed the case in April 2009. Texas then ordered him to pay $2,600 monthly, well below Mathis' wishes. Things escalated when Bosh joined the Miami Heat in 2010. Mathis argued Florida law should hike his support to a potential $30,000 per month, citing his Miami Beach home and Texas voter removal. Bosh countered with proof of Texas residency via taxes and additional voluntary contributions, a $250,000 lump sum, full insurance coverage, preschool tuition, extracurriculars, and a college fund, none court-mandated. By December 2012, a Texas court ruled in Bosh's favor, keeping support steady. Custody drama ran parallel. In 2011, Bosh tried to block Mathis from appearing on Basketball Wives, fearing harm to Trinity's privacy. Case dismissed, but Mathis blamed the pressure for being cut. In 2012, Bosh sought primary custody, alleging Mathis alienated Trinity, limiting his access to just 22 hours instead of 12 days per month. 4 years of litigation ended with a sealed court-mediated settlement in September 2014, keeping joint custody and support unchanged publicly. Tensions reignited in 2018 when Mathis claimed Bosch violated the agreement by moving from Miami to Los Angeles, extending Trinity's travel and disrupting her schooling, demanding over $67,000 in legal fees. Bosch countered, accusing Mathis and her attorney of 7 years of falsified billing, seeking court sanctions for fraud. Publicly, Bosch highlights his fatherhood commitment and maintains an active family life with wife Adrienne Williams and their 4 children. Enter Royce White, whose path from NBA hopeful to political candidate has been shadowed by court actions over missed child support. The former first-round pick, who briefly suited up for the Houston Rockets and Sacramento Kings, fell behind at least 6 times between 2020 to 2023, once racking up over $100,000 in arrears. White's saga is complicated by his highly publicized mental health battles. He advocated for mental health awareness during his brief NBA career while openly discussing his generalized anxiety disorder. But these same struggles, paired with the harsh financial reality of a career cut short, fueled his inability to meet court-ordered child support. The saga began when White, as a 21-year-old rookie, was ordered to pay child support calculated on his projected NBA salary, with automatic garnishments around $5,000 monthly. Conflicts emerged when his fear of flying and mental health accommodation requests led to his release from the Rockets, without ever stepping on the court. When his NBA check stopped rolling in, Royce White admits he failed to alert the court promptly, a rookie mistake he chalks up to legal cluelessness. That little oversight? It let arrears pile up based on his original NBA-level order. Minnesota court records show a messy pattern: missed payments, contempt findings, and remedial orders. In 2018, Ramsey County found him in contempt, hiking his monthly obligation from $350 to $794 thanks to a Big 3 basketball contract. Between 2020 to 2022, he fell behind 3 more times in Ramsey County alone, ordered to cough up $17,000 plus in lump sums to dodge jail. Cottonwood County? Same chaos in 2020 and 2023, contempt citations and structured payment plans galore. By 2024, White owed $100,086, 82 to one mother, with sporadic payments barely keeping him out of hot water. Jail loomed for up to 180 days, but he skirted it by paying just in time. Interest compounded the debt, effectively matching his monthly payments, even when current. White has defended himself fiercely, claiming the system is punitive and humiliating. In a 2022 Substack rant, he detailed over $20,000 paid in 8 months from Big 3 and MMA earnings, slammed Minnesota law for refusing arrear modifications despite flawed income assumptions, and accused courts of harassment. On social media, he insists the press conveniently ignores his overpayments, painting him as the villain. During his 2024 Senate campaign, critics, including one child's mother, challenged his up-to-date claims, noting that arrears must be cleared or consistent for 12 months to count. She provided records showing over $100,000 owed and minimal involvement, adding, "Thank God I don't rely on his support, or it'd be impossible." Enter Jimmy Walker. His story with son Jalen Rose is NBA generational abandonment in full HD. The number 1 overall pick in the 1967 draft, with a 9-season career under his belt, reportedly fathered up to 13 children with 11 women, rarely marrying or supporting them. Jalen Rose was born January 30, 1973, to Jean Rose, whom Walker ditched while pregnant. Married to someone else, Walker reportedly reacted immaturely to the news in 1972, citing pressures from his wife, cutting all contact. He vanished from their lives, never meeting Jalen, providing only court-mandated support. Rose grew up clueless about his dad until age 12, when a coach showed him a Walker highlight reel. Carrying his dad's basketball card to school, Rose initially gained respect but also teasing, eventually stopping talk of his absentee father. In high school, he wore jersey 42, the reverse of Walker's 24, as a subtle middle finger move. Rose's basketball fire partly came from wanting to get noticed by his absent dad, vowing to make sure Walker knew his name. That drive propelled him to the University of Michigan's Fab Five, reaching 2 NCAA Final Fours in 1992 and 1993. During college, Walker caught wind of his son's talent through media coverage and tried to reach out. In 1992, pre-NCAA tournament, he sent a pride-filled letter via journalist Mitch Albom. Rose kept it sealed for 7 years until 2000, finally reading it when ready. Phone calls followed, sporadic at best. An in-person meeting was planned for July 2007, but Walker died of lung cancer on July 2 at 63 before it could happen. Rose attended his funeral, around 30 people, calling it chilling and reflective. Interviews show Walker regretted mishandling things with Jean and genuinely wanted to connect with Jalen, free of ulterior motives. Ironically, Walker himself had an absent father who died in a fire during his youth, leaving minimal emotional imprint. Now, Dwight Howard. His family saga, a roller coaster of exes claiming emotional neglect and inconsistent involvement with his 5 children from 5 different relationships. The 8-time All-Star and 2020 champion denies being a deadbeat, citing financial and occasional personal support, but allegations hint at highly selective parenting. Royce Reed, mom of Howard's oldest, Breelon, has been particularly vocal, publicly branding him neglectful and even evil. Dwight Howard's family saga keeps getting messier. Royce Reed tied her own 2022 child neglect charge, stemming from an incident where Breelon allegedly acted inappropriately under her supervision, to incidents during Howard's watch, claiming he funded smear campaigns against mothers. Reed surrendered to authorities but insisted she was innocent. She recalled the birth of Breelon. Dwight, was he there? No. I texted, called him. My parents reached out to his parents. He was playing a game that day. Didn't show up that night, nothing the next day. We sent a picture. His parents were like, "That's our grandson, he looks just like him." Then they sent a newborn photo of Dwight, it was like twins. Tiffany Render, mother of Howard's daughter Isla, broke her silence in 2025, blasting Howard as a father who only showed up when convenient. His NBA schedule dictated visits, while legal maneuvers slashed her child support from $122,000 to $3,000 monthly and obstructed her access. She described being blindsided by lawsuits and subpoenas demanding financial records, which she called harassment. A 2014 incident drew child abuse allegations after Reed accused Howard of bruising Breelon with a belt. Howard admitted the discipline, citing his own upbringing, but investigations by Florida's Department of Children and Families and Georgia's Cobb County Police closed with no charges. Howard repeatedly denied being a deadbeat, claiming in interviews he always tried to be a great father, though with room to improve. In 2020, he said one son lived with him full-time, another stayed during preseason months. By 2024 he reflected, "I have 5 kids by 5 women. That's not really the right example, but no regrets for the kids, and I give them the best life I can." Then there's Jason Caffey, the former Chicago Bulls champ, 2-time title winner alongside Michael Jordan, fathered 10 children with 8 women, racking up child support obligations that devoured nearly all of his $34 million career earnings. By 2007, arrears surpassed $300,000 across multiple states, based on peak NBA income, impossible to sustain post-retirement. Court records showed obligations to 6 women, kids ranging from toddlers to teens, amid constant legal battles. Reports highlighted inconsistent involvement, including a 10-year gap with his oldest son. A counselor in 1998 noted Caffey avoided calls due to ongoing support disputes and juggling too much. Earlier, in 1997, he was labeled extremely immature, juggling overlapping relationships. Caffey filed Chapter 11 in 2007 to consolidate debts, mostly child support, but a judge rejected it in 2008, exposing him to lawsuits. Briefly jailed in 2008, he dodged full discharge to protect assets like trusts for some children. An Atlanta judge issued an arrest warrant in 2009 for $200,000 owed to one mother. By 2019, he leaned into redemption. Therapy framed his overparenting as a misguided search for love, shaped by his own turbulent upbringing. Now 52, he claims decent relationships with all 10 kids, crediting their mothers for their success. He co-wrote Richard and the Boys, The Puberty Experience, teaching young boys about puberty, consent, and consequences, and warns at-risk youth, "Don't be like me." Surround yourself with positive role models. Finally, Karl Malone. One of the darkest cases, impregnating a 13-year-old girl at 20. No criminal charges were filed, as the family feared jeopardizing Malone's future. Moral outrage haunts his legacy. The child, Demetis Bell, was raised by his mother, Gloria Bell, and her parents, with minimal Malone involvement. Gloria's parents sued Malone in 1986, during his second NBA season, and a paternity test confirmed his fatherhood. Karl Malone's saga keeps getting darker. A Louisiana judge initially ordered $125 per week plus medical expenses, laughably low considering Malone's career earnings would surpass $100 million. A confidential settlement followed in 1988 to 1989. Demetrius Bell grew up joking his mother went to the sperm bank, relying on self-sufficiency. When they finally met at 17, Malone reportedly said it was too late to be a father. Yet, Demetrius became an NFL offensive lineman, playing for teams like the Buffalo Bills, 2008 to 2013. Malone also fathered fraternal twins, Daryl and Cheryl Ford, born June 6, 1981, to his high school girlfriend Bonita Ford. Both were about 17 at conception. Malone left for Louisiana Tech, chasing basketball glory, while Bonita raised the twins with family support. He initially denied paternity and offered no aid. An out-of-court settlement around 1988 to 1989 confirmed fatherhood, but meaningful involvement only started in 1998 when the twins turned 17. Cheryl, a three-time WNBA champion with the Detroit Shock, described the emotional toll. "I forgive, but I'm not going to forget that. That hurts a child." Malone slowly rebuilt relationships, attending Cheryl's college games, providing finances, and keeping regular contact. Reconciliation with Demetrius came later, but by the 2010s, they developed a bond. In 2023, all three appeared together at Malone's Louisiana Tech statue unveiling, signaling family unity. Malone publicly admitted past mistakes in interviews and a 2001 cable special, emphasizing growth and responsibility. Greg Minor represents the 1990s NBA pattern: kids out of wedlock, multiple women, inconsistent involvement. The former Boston Celtics reserve fathered at least 3 children, Kira, Greg Jr., and Khaled, with girlfriend Celestine Rowan during college and early NBA years. Their mid-1990s breakup sparked major disputes. In June 1996, Minor was charged with 4th-degree assault for hitting Rowan in the temple but entered Batters counseling to avoid trial. Post-breakup, Minor cut contact with his children, calling only once on Greg Jr.'s 3rd birthday. A 1998 counselor's report cited ongoing support disputes and Minor's excuses of being too busy. Financial troubles worsened matters. Initially ordered $2,000 per month in 1995, Minor's obligations skyrocketed to $30,000 per month in 1997 after a 5-year $22.5 million Celtics contract. He appealed, demanded genetic testing despite attending 2 births and acknowledging the kids publicly. DNA tests confirmed paternity. Court reduced support to $7,860 per month, half going to a trust fund. Housing conflicts intensified pain. Minor agreed to buy a 4-bedroom home for Rowan and the children, with her paying $900 per month from support funds, but he reneged, forcing eviction to Rowan's mother's cramped 2-bedroom home in a dangerous area. Sports Illustrated's 1998 landmark article Where's Daddy? Featured Minor with Khaled, symbolizing absentee NBA fathers, estimating 1 out-of-wedlock child per player. By 2018, Minor, living in California and coaching privately, described fatherhood as a humbling, ongoing learning process, stressing presence and growth. Shawn Kemp rounds out the saga. The dominant 1990s power forward fathered at least 7 children with 6 women. Rumors suggested up to 11 kids with 9 or 10 women, but confirmed reports point lower. Despite financial strain, Kemp consistently paid child support, though his legacy is forever linked to this tangled web of NBA fatherhood. Shawn Kemp's saga takes a dramatic turn in the 1998 Sports Illustrated expose, which spotlighted his child support obligations as a major factor in professional struggles. That April, he missed 5 practices, and his scoring plummeted from 21.3 points per game pre-All-Star break to just 15.1 after. A Sonic insider told the Seattle Times that Kemp's troubles were the price of fatherhood, not neglect. Mother Charlotte Osuna praised him as an involved dad, regularly supporting and visiting their daughter Dominique. Though access disputes persisted, some mothers reportedly said, "Marry me or you don't see your kid," highlighting the barriers he faced. By 2015, child support obligations allegedly topped $100,000 monthly, drastically eroding his $91 million career earnings and $1 million in endorsements down to a $5 million net worth, thanks to payments, lifestyle costs, and rehab for past addictions. Kemp married Marvina Thomas in 2001, having 3 children, including basketball-playing sons Sean Jr. and Jamon. After splitting, he married 4 more times, lastly Nikki Giovasis. As of 2025, Kemp's family life appears private and stable. That August, he was sentenced to 30 days electronic home monitoring after a shooting incident, addressing the court about protecting his children. Even legends stumble. Larry Bird openly admitted struggles with his biological daughter Corey, born 1977, to his first wife Janet Condra shortly after their divorce. Initially denying paternity, Bird resisted paying support, prompting a suit. Court confirmed his fatherhood. Bird set up a bank account Corey could access at 18. For much of her youth, he limited involvement. Letters, report cards, and photos often went unanswered. In 1993, Corey, 15, was disappointed to miss Bird's retirement ceremony. Bird admitted in his autobiography that differences with Janet limited his engagement. "I can't go back and relive the first 5 or 6 years of her life." Corey shared her story on Oprah in 1998, expressing pain without bitterness. That year, Bird's second wife, Dina, facilitated a meeting at an Indiana Pacers game, leading to a rare hug. By the 2000s, Bird attended Corey's high school games, college graduation, and 2008 wedding to Trent Batson. Corey earned an MBA and built a healthcare career. As of 2025, their relationship is cordial but not close. Bird remains publicly engaged with adopted children Connor and Mariah, highlighting a sharp contrast. Dennis Rodman's story may be the harshest. His daughter Trinity Rodman, a pro soccer star, has spoken openly about his absence. Rodman has 3 children, Alexis, 1988, with Annie Bakes, DJ, 2001, and Trinity, 2002, with Michelle Moyer. Rodman's marriage to Moyer included battles over $850,000 in child support by 2012, tied to financial struggles and alcoholism. Trinity's criticisms are sharp. After a 2021 surprise visit to her game, she posted, "My dad doesn't play a big role. We don't have the best relationship. He's my dad and I'm his little girl." In 2024, she called him, "not a dad, an extremely selfish human being," recounting post-divorce homelessness while Rodman partied constantly. After the 2021 visit, he disappeared for 3 years. Rodman responded, "Sorry I wasn't the dad you wanted. I still tried. I love you." Trinity replied privately, "I'm done." Reports note Rodman's own father abandoned him and fathered 47 children, perpetuating a generational cycle. In 2020, Rodman admitted, "It's very hard for me to try to break out of that cycle." Next time you watch NBA stars celebrating on the court, remember, somewhere, a child may be waiting for a call that never comes, carrying the weight of a father who chose everything else over being there. Click one of the cards on your screen for more stories like this.